Hi, my name is Ethan Wallace, and I played Blue-White Control today. The main game plan of the deck is to stick one of your sticky kind of threats, which would be like Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, Shark Typhoon on the board and protect it. Typically that means that you have to do a lot of reactive stuff for the first few turns of the game, lots of counter spells, some removal spells, that kind of stuff. And you have access to really powerful cards like Dig Through Time and Memory Deluge to help you find those cards. One of your best ways to stall the game to get to the point where you can resolve a Teferi is Supreme Verdict, and then pay 5 mana for your Teferi, untap 2 lands, and protect it with a card like Doman's Veto, 2 mana counterspell, or your 2 mana removal spell, Fateful Absence. This deck, because we have no creatures in our main board, aside from Shark Typhoons, which cycle to make sharks, and our manland, Hall of the Storm Giants, is you get to play Kahira, the Orphan Guard, which is just a companion whose restriction is that each creature card in your deck has to have the type cat, elemental, nightmare, dinosaur, or beast. It's just a 3/2 with vigilance. You pay 3 to put into your hand, and then 1 and green, white, green, white. We get to run this card for free because we meet the requirement, because we have no creatures in our deck. And it's just a free 3/2 with vigilance that you get to put into your hand, act as a blocker. Sometimes after you run out of gas early in the game, you just get to put a 3/2 into play for 6 mana. And believe it or not, that can be enough to buy a couple turns or even close out a game. How I would change the deck going forward, I played 2 Grafdigger's Cages in the sideboard today, specifically because I knew that there would be someone here on Jund Sacrifice, and I thought that that was a kind of a difficult matchup with Rest in Peace, because they play Collected Company, and Collected Company can really outvalue you if you tap out in a bad spot. It's also very good against Bant Spirits, which also plays Collected Company. And I didn't see either of those 2 decks here today, but I did see multiple decks where Rest in Peace would have been much better. So knowing what I know about the meta here now, I probably would have played Rest in Peace today over Grafdigger's Cage. Because my only loss today was to Phoenix, and had my Grafdigger's Cage been a Rest in Peace in that game, I definitely would have won. So I would recommend this deck to people who really know the metagame that they're wandering into, and to people who really like to say no. My favorite card in the deck is Supreme Verdict, so I really like to destroy all creatures. That's kind of my thing. And Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, lets me play a very cast my spell, just keep passing back to you and untap. So for people who really like to do a lot but also do nothing, I would recommend this deck too.